Welcome to the Hard 180, where we are counting down to the 100 most essential records of the 1980s hair metal scene. My name is Baco, and today my special guest to talk about today's special album is from ESPN, Courtney Cronin.
That's me.
Yeah, it's not a lie.
No, it's not.
No. No, you recently dropped the Dold. When I first met you, you were Courtney Cronin Dold, and at that point, you informed me that you, prior to that, were a writer working with ESPN, and at that point, you were Courtney Cronin only, but you are now Courtney Cronin Dold, and you had this very fun and over effervescence explanation as to why you go by Courtney Cronin or Courtney Cronin Dold, but you just recently announced that nope, no more Dold, it's too confusing, and now everybody knows that ESPN's Courtney Cronin is speaking with me today.
Yeah, that's me. No, she's going to be thrilled, by the way, that I'm back, and mistaken tweets, but which I think you kind of did on purpose because of.
Oh, I did a bunch of them on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. My dad just saw her or something. I forget where he was. He was talking. Oh, my parents were in London, and a bunch of the Vikings are there, right?
They played this weekend. Yes, a victory over the crappy New York Jets.
So they had there was like a whole bunch of them in their hotel, like past players. And my mom's like, I didn't know who anybody was, but they sat down and had like tea or drinks or something with someone from there. And I'm like, and you didn't tell them that your daughter's name is Courtney Cronin? And my dad's like, oh, Jesus. I forgot.
Wait, your folks live in London right now?
They were there last week.
Wait, for the Vikings?
No. They went for a friend's, way more fun for a friend's funeral. So they were there to say goodbye to a friend. But yeah, I was like, you didn't tell them that? And he's like, oh my God, I can't even believe I forgot. Because we joke about it a lot, about the other Courtney Cronin, the successful Courtney Cronin, the one whose parents are proud of her, Courtney Cronin.
Let's you know what, that Courtney Cronin has zero sense of humor. Yeah, Courtney Cronin, it's weird that she's like someone with the same name is now working for ESPN, but she's not so important that like she gets stuck in regional markets. Like she was here in Minnesota for a few years, and they shoved her down to Chicago, where apparently she's from. But I can tell you from the tweets that I've put out there that she is a humorless and joyless person, and I did it. Yes, you are 100% correct. I did it intentionally, because of my love and respect for you, Courtney. Okay, you're originally an East Coaster, right?
Yeah, Boston originally.
Oh, so not Jets fan, Patriots.
I'm not a football fan. I like basketball.
Oh, that's right. You're basketball, Golden State, if I remember right.
Nope. Clippers. And then Celtics when my dad's in the room. But we still always root for the Celtics. That was very exciting last year. It was
yeah, finally you guys got one. I'm so happy for you. Yeah.
This year.
Good. You're lucky you didn't play the T-Wolves. We were coming for you.
Well, we just like going to games. I go to a lot of games. I like to go to
I'm just happy Boston finally got something going for them, the Celtics, so.
Yeah, it's been a rough life for them.
All right. Well, actually, let's give you a proper introduction, Courtney. Courtney Cronin. I've known you as Courtney Cronin Dold since I've got to know you, so I'm going to have to make this adjustment. But you're a successful comedian, comic writer. How should I describe you?
Yeah, I guess no one really knows what I do. It's, because people go, oh, you're a comedian. It's like, yeah, but I'm sort of like in this different like world of comedy now. Like I was a club comedian, road comedian. Like I did all that. Like the first like 15 years I was doing one, but then, became a writer, write for other comics. Totally love doing that. So it's like weird to explain it. So it's just comedian, writer is fine. No one really cares. No one cares, Baco. No one's as soon as I came on screen, like 90% of your people already shut off.
I doubt that's true, especially because we have such a hot topic to get into today. Now, but I'll tell you this, in feedback to what you're saying, a colleague of yours, Don Jameson, I had a similar discussion with him because I like to think I'm a funny guy, Courtney. But I don't know that I would consider myself a comedian or a comic. And I asked Don about that. And he's like, well, a comic, I can't remember which one he said, but he said a comic is somebody who can be funny, and a comedian is someone who's actually done stand-up, or vice versa. I can't remember which way he put it, but
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, and usually like actual stand-up comedians are really not that funny in conversation. They're all like if you've been doing it a long time, you're usually off.
Yeah.
There's only a few people who are like on a lot and but I'm definitely off. Like I'm not a funny person. Maybe after a couple of glasses of rosé, maybe then I'm a funny person. But yeah,
I've enjoyed every conversation we've ever had. It's always been fun.
yeah, but that's because we're having fun and we're usually on a podcast.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, we're usually the record light is usually on. I guess you got a good point there.
Yeah, so like before the show started, I was like, and now I'm like this person. This is Courtney Cronin Dold.
Oh, nice.
And this
All
is Courtney
right.
Cronin. I'm not getting divorced, by the way. My husband keeps going, make sure you say like you're not getting divorced. I'm like everything's fine.
It's
I'm
a
just
professional
tired of being
maneuver
Courtney
is all.
Cronin droid.
Yeah, so.
And then I don't know if you heard this, but like I got all these messages. They're like, oh, Chris Jericho had the guys on to talk about the Kiss book. And he's like, oh, he mentioned your name. And then someone was like, whoa, he kind of shit on you. And I was like, wait, what? So I listened to it. And I guess he goes, oh, I was looking in the index to see who had more stuff than me. And who the fuck is Courtney Cronin Dold?
Oh.
He goes, that doesn't even sound like a real name. And I was like, huh? And then Tom's like, she's a comedian, you know her or something like. And then I think he backpedaled out of it, and he's like, no, I'm kidding. Like then he was nice.
Well, he's Canadian. He can't be too harsh. So
no, but I mean, he was kidding, but like it came out really strong, like angry.
Now, in defense of him, I am definitely guilty of that. I have sometimes we leave them in, and I just put a big like censor beep over the top of what I say. But I've definitely gone where I listen to the edit. I'm like, whoa. That was way, yeah. I knew what I was doing in my head, but So anyway,
yeah.
Apologies to Alicia Keys.
Yeah, I'm believe it was harmless, but it just cracked me up because after all this with my name, and then here it is, like right away. That doesn't even sound like a real name, and I'm like, see, it doesn't. Courtney Cronin sounds so much better. Anyway, enough. Who cares about me? Let's talk about other stuff.
Well, I think we have enough history here that you can at least trust me that I didn't bring you on because you're female. But when we went through the list, here is, well, kind of a rough breakdown for the listener of the actual list of 100 records. I had 40. It's not determined yet. 42 or 43. Long story. I won't get into it. People who contributed to the ranking here, right? And we were talking about Poison. Now, I'm not a Poison fan. But I was surprised that they actually shook out because I will tell you right now, Poison is a Mount Rushmore hair metal band. As much as I don't like them. But their highest ranking record was 35, and then it dawned on me, we don't have one female voice interjected in that. And Poison is definitely a chick band from this scene.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So I really thought, like, I was really scrambling to get the top 10 for the top 10. So here's how it went, Courtney. From 100 to 51, I just did 10 records at a time, and it was just me solo. It was really awkward and goofy. And then from 50 to number 11, I brought in Wally from the CGCM network, radio network in Canada, and we did 5 records at a time. Can we, slowed it down a little bit to kind of give the records a little more breathing room? For the top 10, I am doing one guest, one record per record, and trying to bring in a heavy hitter like yourself. So today we're talking about Cinderella.
I'm so sorry.
First of all, Cinderella has a little, especially with this record, there's a little bit of a chick attitude towards this. But God damn it, Courtney, I feel bad. There should have been more of a female presence, but now I feel like I'm like a golf course that like got called out for only having white dudes, and I just got one black guy. And so you're the token female voice to throw into this process.
I'm happy to represent the rest of the other middle-aged female nerds out there. I'm proud to be one.
And I know when they hear this, they'll, because so many middle-aged women listen to this show. They will.
When are you guys putting out the calendar? By the way, we've been waiting.
Of 80s hair metal guys or us?
No, you guys.
Oh boy, you know what? That 2025, we have. We'll line it up and put it in the. Okay. We'll make sure people can figure out where to buy it. But
okay, good. I want one.
All right, well, let's get into today's record. Coming in at number 4 is Cinderella Night Songs. This was released in on June 9th, 1985. It peaked at number 3 at some point. I don't know have the date on that. It eventually trickled its way to triple platinum, Courtney, but not till 1991. It was produced by Andy Johns. Now, we can get into the backstory of some of the making of the but where are you at on a scale of 1 to 10? Oh, you know what? Let me take it back a little bit. I asked you to come up with a top 10 hair metal record list.
You did?
I did, but you also said I suck at that. So
I do.
Why don't you just give me like 5 or 10 of your favorite albums of this time?
Oh God.
It doesn't have, just give me just the best you can do.
During the mid 80s?
Just say 80s hair metal. Anything you think it qualifies.
Okay. Oh my God. Baco, I'm so bad at this. I really can't rate things or judge things.
You don't have to rank them. Just share some you like.
Oh my God. Can we pause? I cannot do this. I can't.
How about we just move on?
Yeah, I honestly, my brain is going blank, and I have like album covers like behind me, and all I can think of is Squeeze's Babylon and On, and Crowded House's first, second, and third albums. Although the third,
those are in the 80s.
That's all I can think of. I literally can't think of anything else. Enough's Enough's first album I love.
There we go.
I'm actually more of a Long Cold Winter Cinderella person, because that's my favorite songs on there. The Last Mile, but shit, what else did I have? Oh, I love Winger's first album.
Winger,
a lot, actually.
Not a single Winger record on the list. Do you believe that?
What?
100? Yeah. No, not
so
Winger.
weird.
Winger did not break the top 100, but for some reason Riot did. But that's yeah. And you know, you mentioned this to me, or you mentioned I should bring this up. But yeah, I'm going to be in LA here now. At the time this episode drops, Courtney, it's going to be 2025. So people are going to listen to this and go, "What the hell are we talking about?" So yeah, like at the end of October, I'm going to be in Los Angeles. And possibly we'll have a little meet and greet, and you and I will sign autographs for fans.
That sounds totally reasonable. So reasonable. Yeah, you know what? It's funny when you catch me off guard. If I don't have something written, that's the other thing about the difference between a funny person and a comedian. I have to have my shit written down, like ready. I can't get on stage or on a podcast without I hope people don't notice, but I have like tons of notes. I have to, otherwise I can't. My brain has so much crazy shit going on in it. I can't focus on one thing. Or like, like you asked me, like you could have asked me to name my top 10 favorite movies. I could not do it. I just can't.
I'm not great on the spot with that either. Like, no, but unlike you, if you said, "Can you give me prep a list for it in a week?" I could get it done. But
if I had time to write, if I wrote it down, which I should have, and I apologize.
No. You told me you suck at it. I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna hang my hat on that. I wasn't trying to corner you at all there. Now with LC, like he has a lot of like he'll have something that he wants to talk about, and he'll like expect a certain response from me, but he won't let me know what he's going to talk about, and then he'll drop it on me, and then like I'll be just sitting there kind of like deadpan, and he's like, "You got nothing?" I'm like, "I don't know what the hell you want me to say," So I kind of get where you're going. Over the course of the show, we've done some scripted bits, but I'm pretty good on the fly with if we're just talking like news. Things like that, basically conversational stuff. But yeah, I'm with you. So I didn't mean to put you in a spot.
No, it's okay. It's my fault. It's my fault.
But I'm going to be in Los Angeles.
Rock's not dead, but Courtney's career is. Anyway, so you're going to be in Los Angeles. I'm very excited.
We're going to do a book signing.
Life is real. And
we both contributed to the Shout Out Loud book, so we'll both be autographing copies at, what's the big bookstore out there?
Book Soup.
Book Soup. Well, we'll be at Book Soup, wherever that is.
Mm-hmm. It's across from the old Tower Records. I think it's still there. It was like the most popular bookstore. Everyone did their book signings there.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. And we're both in the Shout Out Loud cast book. Raise Your Glasses. Yeah. We're both in that. It's pretty cool. Your stuff's very funny. It was fun to see funny stuff and other like points of view. Like there's so many different points of view. It was fun. I've read a lot of it. It's fun.
I still got to get my copy, but
Yeah.
although I don't know, I'll probably own one by the time this episode actually comes out. Like I said, we're recording this about 4 months in advance.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. You haven't seen it?
Well, I mean,
Oh.
I know it's out. I just haven't picked one up. So
Oh.
I'm not like you. They didn't give me a free one.
They didn't give me one either.
Okay.
No.
Well, I feel a little bit
I
better.
was like, oh, when's my book coming? And like it never came. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm not famous enough to get one of the books. So I just bought one to support it.
No, I was on their show, and I think I was a bit of an inspiration for the book in general. I don't know if it was enough of an inspiration to get a free copy, but I for Decibel Geek a while back, I ranked every Kiss song, and then I also like put in like my.
Oh,
You know,
I remember that.
Yeah. And they had me on as like one of the things they mentioned to me was that like not only did you rank everyone, but you actually put in like some kind of like comment about every song, and they thought that was pretty cool. So I think in some way I kind of got the ball rolling on this book. Now this is much more expansive and it's a bigger idea. I'm not taking credit. I'm just saying I'm a beacon of light and inspiration to all, especially in the Kiss universe.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Yeah.
All right, well, fair enough. Let's get back to the record then. So Cinderella Night Songs. How old would you have been when this thing? Well, wait. Sorry, I don't want to
What year is
drop
it?
it. Yeah, so it's 86. 86. So what are we talking? Junior high, high school?
Junior high.
Okay. So when the very first episode I did of the where I did like basically the first 10. I'm midway through the thing, and one of the records I'm talking about came out on Valentine's Day, and I opine while thinking about this record, like who would I have been, with on? And then I realized like I would have been nobody, so I switched it to
Me
who would
too, at that
who would I have been masturbating to on that day on Valentine's Day, and I actually name dropped a girl I went to high school with, and so for the next 5 records that were left in the episode, I name dropped like, well, this is from '88, so that would have been Sheila Meixner. I've been asking a couple of the people who've been on here. Courtney, would you like to share any spank bank like name drop someone you actually went to school with?
We didn't really do that. Like we drew hearts and did like games where you'd find out if you'd get married.
Man, guys are way grosser.
Yeah, you are. I think at this age, I was like 8th grade. And who did I have a crush on? Oh, do you know who I had a huge crush on? I went to school with the singer Gary Wright, like Dreamweaver, Love Is Alive. Gary
Oh,
Wright.
yeah.
And
Wait, he was still in high school?
Huh?
He was still finishing his junior high.
No, his son was in my class.
Okay.
And he was like kind of super nerdy in 7th grade, but then like some of the guys, they all came back in 8th grade and were kind of cute. Like their voices started changing and they started looking a little more less like girls and more like boys. And I had a huge crush on him. And I mean huge. And
so Gary Wright's son, what's his first name?
Dorian
Wright.
Dorian Wright. And now he's like a yoga dude in Hawaii, but he was really nice to me. He definitely didn't like me back. But a girl,
I know that
mean
feeling.
Girl dedicated a song to us. We've talked about this. How the mean girl dedicated the song to us, and you were like, say her last name, but I didn't want to because she survived. She's a cancer survivor. I don't want to make fun of her, even though
this is all tied
mean.
to that. Oh my Lord!
She was so mean, but who wasn't mean sorry, this light's not working. As a 12-year-old girl, 13-year-old girls were so evil. So she dedicated Secret Lovers by Atlantic Starr to us at the school dance, hoping he wouldn't dance with me to be mean. And he freaking did. He stepped up to the plate.
Goddamn, way to go, Dorian.
And he touched my hips.
Nice. Man.
He was so much taller. I was like,
that
was it. He was very
way more
nice.
than I got out of Carlene Reichley. Anyway, well, cool. Well, this record then comes out. Are you kind of an instant fan? You mentioned that Long Cold Winter was more your jam, but what about this album?
Well, of course, because of the videos. Of course.
But hey, let's jump into that right now. I had them on the list, but I watched them all today. I remember all the videos. I didn't know that there was that storyline all the way through.
Yeah. Of the stepsisters and the whole thing. I mean, it's pretty clever, but it's pretty it's pretty obvious to go in that direction, but I'm glad that they did.
Hmm.
I'm glad that whoever came up with the concept, do you know who it was?
I do not know.
It was clever. It was a good concept. And as like a girl, at that coming of age, you wanted to be the Cinderella. You wanted to be the girl, because she was so, she went from like, messy to sassy or whatever, and then like she's like basically on the stage. Wait, Shake Me's the first one, right?
Yeah, so Shake Me comes out, yeah.
Yeah.
No. And that's where the stepsister kind of role. It's very clear in that one. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're too busy, and we're gonna go be sluts at the Cinderella show. And
We're
then
going
like
to the Cinderella concert, and you can't come. Everyone used to say that.
yeah. And then like the poster in their bedroom comes alive.
Yeah.
Tom Kiefer drops his guitar on the floor. Turns out he didn't need it for most of the video. And then next thing you know, who's the skank now, bitches?
That's right.
The stepsister is there. She's on the stage. And by the end of the video, she's Tom Kiefer's main squeeze.
That's right. That's right. She walks away with the prince.
Now, the whole Cinderella story, though, as far as like, that's what a girl wants. You want something that temporary that expires at midnight? Like, well, now I'm back to being just a fucking, floor mopping piece of crap.
You never think that. You think, oh, I'm the one. I'm going to change him.
Oh, that's right. He comes back, right, with the slipper?
Yeah.
I forget about the ending.
Oh,
well.
It's not just till midnight. It's just that was just the first date. But I do remember like wanting to dress like the stepsisters because those outfits were so cool.
Yeah, they're pretty badass.
Yeah, and like the clicking of their heels, like when they're walking through the thing. Like, click, 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 click. I used to love that. I just thought that was so funny. I don't know why. I just loved it. But yeah, I wanted the pink lipstick and the polka dots. Like,
and the weird hats and well, I mean, guys thought they looked would use a different word other than cool, but so then it follows up with Nobody's Fool, which is a song about a very heavy tune, but of course it starts out with those two stepsisters again, but now in like a beat up kind of tiny car that's painted like a pink what's that little bug called?
A Volkswagen Bug?
No, the actual bug.
Ladybug.
Ladybug, yeah.
Yeah.
Ladybug. And at this point now, Kiefer's like walking into rehearsal with the girl who won the day in the first video. Sits her down in the front row. She's all like, I'm his girl, I'm everything. And then he fucking starts singing her this song about like, basically just ripping her to shreds. And then she of course leaves. Yeah, and then so she leaves, and she ends up morphing back to the ugly stepsister, if that's the right term, right?
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's like her. Yeah, Nobody's Fool. She's like all like she's kind of dressed all hot and skanky like she is in the Shake Me, and then she like runs home and she's back in bed. She's back in the boring clothes. She's sitting next to her Cinderella poster, and so she's not that girl anymore. The makeup comes off, the hair goes down, and then
I don't remember the end. I just remember the beginning where she like gets out of the limo and she's all like, and then they go to this random studio and the band turns around and just starts singing it.
And then she's like, wait a second, you're talking about me. And then she turns around and runs out. And meanwhile, the stepsisters are back in there for some reason, just bopping away.
Yeah.
Even though it's Nobody's Fool. It's not really like a upbeat dancey song.
It is not an upbeat dancey song.
But on the way out, she's back as the homely stepsister, and Tom stops and looks at her and goes, "Oh, I remember you." And that seems like they have.
No, she's back to being Cinderella, not the ugly stepsister. The stepsisters are the two.
Okay, well, but she's the dressed down version of her.
It's dressed down version of Cinderella.
Okay, yeah, she's still Cinderella. Yes, sorry. Okay. I get what you're saying there. Yeah, I'm telling this horribly, but
dude, I don't remember the end. That's terrible. Okay.
And then they're getting the band comes out and walks past. Even they all get in the limo without Cinderella even. Right. And then the two Skanky sisters come up and once again get the brush off, which leads up to the last video, Somebody Save Me. Which at the
that's the best one.
All right, you go ahead here.
That's the best one, and it's because it's so ridiculous. Not just because Bon Jovi's at the end, because I guess they were on tour with Bon Jovi when they shot it, which seems obvious. It looks like they're in a stadium, not in a recording studio in the hallway there. Because the back
Yeah, you're
area is
right.
like the stadium.
Yeah, it probably
But
was just shot like outside of an arena there.
yeah, I think this is what it looks like. And clearly they had terrible audio because they had to do the audio after the
Yeah, it
ADR.
sounds like Peter Criss and Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
It's so bad. So forever, and it's kind of funny how the stepsisters kind of turn the tables on them, like it's them, and then runs through them and whatever. But it's such a good
Well,
song.
they've been rejected twice now. They're like,
They've been
fuck
rejected,
you.
exactly.
Yeah, we're off to Bon Jovi and Sambora. Fuck you guys.
That's right. That's right. And so that's kind of fun. I don't know if it's the same two actresses. Do we know who any of them were? Was Lisa Axelrod one of them? Because I know she's in so many videos and stuff.
Let's just say yes.
I like her. Okay, but the best part about that end, yeah, is the terrible ADR. So when the sound
Oh,
engineer,
hold on.
like, "All right,
It's actually
guys."
Shirley MacLaine and Debbie Gibson. So.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. Okay, perfect. Debbie Reynolds and Rosemary Clooney. Perfect.
That's better. That was much better than my two pulls. Yeah.
But so which one though started the swinging, where they were swinging?
It's in the first video. Yeah.
The first video. Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that because it sticks out more in Somebody Save Me. That was the time I was like, whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, and
Courtney,
everyone was trying to do that.
I literally went out, no, because I'm smart. I went outside to do it for the first time. I was like, I was a burgeoning young guitar player. There's not enough ceiling room where I'm at. I got to go outside. But I did not really think it all the way through. I did screw in my straps so they wouldn't fall off. I didn't have strap locks at the time, but I did have a pleather strap. If you want to do this at home, you want to do this with a nylon strap, something slick and smooth. I threw that sucker up like that. It just went up, stuck, and then slammed back into my head. And
Yep.
I went into the house in shame, and that was the last time I tried it, but it was all because of Cinderella. It looks pretty cool, even like now watching it, But it's a lot like a golf swing, but you really gotta clear your arms up, like let that sucker just whip around. You gotta watch where your arms are at and everything. So
I've seen some people pull it off, and I've seen some people not. But that
you also have to have a wireless unit too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have the Nobody's Fool playing over here. I probably should have watched that again because I thought I knew it really well, but I didn't remember the end. Because
right now
they were on so much that like when you come home after school, you turn on MTV, and obviously that's how I knew the songs was 90% from MTV. I don't think I even maybe even bought like the single or anything till like later. Or like way later. I don't even know if they had singles then. Yeah, they did.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like a single person because I was a 13-year-old girl,
Nice.
I didn't really buy a lot of the whole albums of anybody, really.
Oh, really? Oh,
No.
I was definitely, I bought a single when I didn't trust the album. Like, this is a really good song. I'm pretty sure I'm going to hate everything else. That was that guy. But this
Crowded House, those are my favorite bands. So I would buy that stuff. But the hair metal stuff, it was constantly on MTV. I didn't need to. It was always on the TV. And then if I wanted to hear it, I just turned on the radio and there they were again. Like it was just so heavily played. It was just like, especially the Somebody Save Me video. Like that was like
that's a weird song choice for a single, I think.
What do you mean?
I don't think it's a single.
Somebody Save Me?
Like the Shake Me and Nobody's Fool are obvious ones, but and we can break it down more when we get into the track by track. But yeah, I was like, I love the song. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, I was banging this record all the time, back in the day. So
Night Songs, Photo by Mark Weiss. But the
Mark Weiss.
he had a gallery thing here. It was awesome. But I was gonna say, so at the end of that video, to this day, my sister and I still say, "All right, dude, finally." We still say that. And then when they're in the hall and it's like the bad ADR, like, "Oh, good one, Fred." And it's like, "Don't push me." And it's like the worst acting ever. It's so funny. It cracks me up, which, by the way, if you come to LA, anywhere you go in the West Hollywood area, you will run into Fred Coury. He's literally everywhere at all times. I don't think there's more band sightings of someone that I've seen more than Fred.
Do
And
you have?
seriously, I see him at everything, like even shows. I'll see him. Oh, there's Fred Corey. Like, and my friend Earl Skakel, we have the same joke because he sees him at the gym all the time. And then he goes to a lot of hockey games, and I guess Fred does the music for the LA Kings.
Mm-hmm.
So he always sees him at hockey games. He's like, I see Fred Corey everywhere. Now I'm like, I'm seeing him everywhere now that you mentioned it. I guess he's just everywhere. And he'll talk to everybody. Like, he's super nice. Like,
It's like seeing Regis in New York City, in Manhattan.
yeah, it's kind of like you come to West Hollywood, you're going to see Fred, you know?
Or I'm thinking of Maury Povich. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. 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 But at least, Fred looks good and he's like nice and normal. So,
And the weird thing is, Fred has a long history in that scene, which is not where Cinderella's from, Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And then he doesn't play on this record or Long Cold Winter. It's just
He doesn't play on them?
no. He played on the third record. What was that? Jesus Christ! Here we go.
I don't know the third one.
It doesn't matter. Number 3. We're here to talk about night songs, but yeah, Fred doesn't play on this. A guy named Jody Cortez, who has a huge background in hard rock with artists like Boz Scaggs and David Crosby. So
weird. How come that's so weird? How come he doesn't play on it, but he's in all the videos?
I think it was a record label decision. A lot of this stuff, like it seemed like it was kind of a struggle to get Cinderella to where they were, and then they blow up, and you kind of wonder some of the second guessing that went on going into this. So the band was formed by Tom and Eric Brittingham with 2 guys who ended up fired, left, whatever, but they went on to start Britney Fox, which is a fucking Cinderella clone. Mm-hmm. And recently, I think around 2014-15, Tom Kiefer came out, because everybody talks about how John Bon Jovi got him their deal, and he's like, well, actually, Gene Simmons was the first person. And if you and I know, we can definitely attest, there's something weird about the idea of somebody giving Gene Simmons credit for something he hasn't continually taken credit for already.
True.
And so I don't know how much... But he was like, yeah, Gene pitched him to Polygram, but they didn't take it for whatever reason. I'm guessing because Gene Simmons was pitching it. And then John Bon Jovi comes in and says, hey, you guys should check these guys out. And they're like, oh, well, John Bon Jovi says it's all right. Let's go for it. But I wasn't able to confirm if he got some of their publishing like he did with the Skid Row deal, at least in the interviews that I was reading for this. But I believe there had to be some kind of tie-in for that. And that leads us up to that whole video where they're basically at the end taking all the girls from Cinderella. Mm-hmm. Or maybe that was the deal. It was like, we'll endorse you guys, we'll get your record deal, but you only get our seconds, whatever. We get first dibs in the squish.
Okay. News to me.
Okay. Did you ever see the hot dog commercial that they did before they got famous? Some hot dog joint in Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
Definitely check it out when we're done talking here. I'll throw it in. I'll throw the audio in here for the people listening to the audio podcast. But yeah, so John Bon Jovi gets a lot of credit for helping these guys out, and then of course he did the same thing for Skid Row a little bit later, sort of in the same vein. But well, let's talk about the cover now. Tom went on to kind of try to Long Cold Winter being your favorite record. They definitely went for a more stripped down, let's wear long leather trench coat kind of look with less hairspray. But this album cover is as hair metal as it gets. Let's pull it back up.
It is like, if you look it up in the dictionary, that's a picture you would expect to see. Yeah, it's such an awesome photograph. I love it.
It is one of my favorite album covers of this scene.
It is very cool. The pants you got from tiger to snake. Eric's the only one not wearing an animal print. He's the only one with no animal print.
But yeah, that's okay. A lot of scarves.
Because he's the blonde.
But Eric's got that perfect palm tree hairdo going there too, though.
Yeah, the hair, all of their hair looks great.
Man. Yeah, we didn't talk about that in the video. I mean, Jeff LaBar, his hair in the, I think it's Somebody Save Me, is the most, at one point there's a scene where it's like, that is the most gigantic poofy hair I've ever seen.
He rocked the fro. He had like the cool rock fro. Yeah. I think like for girls, like chicks, we kind of dug Fred Like the girls seem to
Really?
always like Fred.
Even though he's a drummer, huh?
Yeah, the drummer. Yeah. Yeah, Fred. Tom always freaked me out. I always
Yeah,
thought he
I was
was
going to ask you that.
very
Like, he's a goofy looking guy, right?
he's a handsome guy. I mean,
Come
like
on,
the more
Courtney.
no,
Courtney.
he's a handsome guy. He has handsome features but his hair was so awful.
Which feature is handsome?
He's got a nice smile and he has
It's
nice
like his smile
eyes.
is upside down.
No, it's kind of sexy. It's gritty. It's raw. It's like manly. Like
Oh, you like it because of that? I always thought he kind of
yeah.
was like a perfect mix of like Steven Tyler and Joe Perry. His face.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, but he just like you
These
don't.
are the things I thought about when I was 16.
Well, yeah, for me, I would always be like, God, they're big rock stars. Why won't they fix his hair? Like his hair just made no sense to me.
Oh, I like
Like
his hair.
I hated it. I always hated his hair. But it just was weird it just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, why? What's the point? It reminded me of like a weird tree.
So his hair reminds you of a tree, but Eric Brittingham to me it was like a palm tree. It was like,
Yeah, he had the sexy mullet. He was like rocking like the rock mullet. That's a mullet.
yeah, I played hockey in Minnesota. That's not where. There's no way that's a mullet.
You don't think?
No,
His
no.
bangs go all the way back here. His
But you
bangs
can't.
go from here to here.
The bangs are there, but the problem is it's long here. The mullet starts only in the back.
Oh, true, true, true.
And to be fair though, nobody called it a mullet back then. That was something that came
No.
around in the '90s. But
Yeah, no, I don't know what you call the dude, but I mean, they definitely stand out with their look. I mean,
yeah,
it was very, they, you couldn't miss them. You knew as soon as you see Tom, or as soon as you hear the voice, immediately it's Cinderella. Like
and
there's no going, who is this? Like, even when you would hear it on the radio, it was like, oh, this is Cinderella. I've never heard this one. Oh, this is Cinderella. Like, you just know.
And I'd like to know if they had that logo before they got signed, or if that's something that the record company worked on, because that's a very professional and involved logo, and it's a great logo. I also am purple is probably my second favorite color. So it really, I don't know, this cover it resonated with me. I remember like even too, like I was like this was like, so it was Kiss and Hall & Oates for me for the longest time, and then I started getting into like Twisted Sister, Rat, and Motley Crue. And Motley Crue was the next big one for me, and this is probably the one after that. Maybe Dokken is tied in there, but the one thing I remember just being such a giant super fan that like I remember even talking to my mom. There's like this part in the record, in reading the liner notes. That's like this guy played lead guitar on this song, and at the time I'm like I'm literally telling my mom this, who she does not give two shits about any of this stuff, but she's just like, son, okay. But I'm like, yeah, it must be like a good buddy. They were like, hey, it's our big break. Here's a chance for you to play on it too. And it's like, how fucking naive, Courtney. Because it was just like, it was totally a like record. We don't think you guys are any fucking good. We're bringing this guy in to play this stuff. You don't even know him, so.
That's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah, so there was a guitar player, I didn't get his name down, who plays lead on a couple songs. Other than that, I believe it is Tom for the most part, and Jeff LaBar does play on the record. But yeah, Fred Curry doesn't play on it at all. I mean, he was the one guy that I from the actually making of this record that I thought about reaching out to. Oh, well, I shouldn't say that. I did reach out to Tom, but he didn't want to get into it. I think he really wants to move on past the whole hair metal stuff. But I was like, well, I can't ask Fred. He didn't even play on the thing. You know what I mean? Like, it would almost be an insult to reach out to him.
That is weird. I mean, that's weird. But maybe that's why he was all like, testy at the end of the video.
Yeah, he's like, don't push this shit on me. I didn't even fucking play in this thing.
Yeah, don't push me. Yeah. You didn't make us do it again because of me.
Yeah, fun fact, that's the actual producer of the record in the video too, going,
it is?
One more time, guys. Yeah, Andy Johns, famous for he did Led Zeppelin and stuff. But
okay. Oh, well, that explains the first song then. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the night song. Well, we'll get into the track by track here. Actually, are you ready? You want to get into it?
This is your show, man. This is
You're the guest. You're the honored guest and
This is your barbecue, Cyrus, and it tastes good.
I just did. Okay. The opening song is the title track.
That was Nicolas Cage, by the way. Okay. I'm sorry. What?
The opening song is the title track, Night Songs.
Tis.
What do you think?
Today's night songs. Yeah, I'm ready. I don't have notes or anything.
Oh, I
Um,
always thought this song kind of reminded me of Hell's Bells by AC/DC.
it reminded me of When the Levee Breaks.
Really?
It kept going through my head. And I was like, damn, what's the name of that song?
Okay, now
I
it
was
does
like,
remind me of that too. That
I just it just kept going through my head because I'll be honest, I've never listened to this whole album ever. I just listened to it for this. I only knew the three songs. I really truly had never heard any of the other songs. That's probably going to annoy a lot of people right now, but I just didn't because I was a girl. I
Singles.
was a 13-year-old girl. I didn't buy albums until I
Now,
was in
did your
high school.
singles only have the same song on the other side, or was there another tune typically?
I don't even remember. It probably was, but I didn't listen to it.
Just rewind.
Hmm.
Well, you rich Beverly Hills people with your unlimited supply of batteries that you didn't have to worry about like you wasting them on rewinding. But
I'm not from Beverly Hills.
yeah, Night Songs to me, it's a really cool tune. It's kind of sludgy and heavy, kind of drags through, and it's it's actually a really good vocal by Tom Kiefer on this. Especially, he kind of shifted away from that kind of almost AC/DC kind of style singer as the band progressed to more of a I don't know, more of a natural vocal style that I appreciate as well. But for me, they were really steering into the hair metal thing on this one, and I love it. I think it's a great opening track.
Yeah,
And clearly, you did
good
not
song.
play basketball at the rec center with me and Jason Dreesen. Otherwise, you would have heard this entire record many times.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was still 12 and 13-year-old girl. We were also still like really heavy into Madonna,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So like I eased into this world as I got older. And then really in my 20s, like really I sort of like went back, but I
Sure.
was I was young. I was in like, 8th grade and I wasn't as cool. But and he
There's
says
zero chance that your coolness level was not on par with mine in 1986.
I got cool my junior year of high school. Then I started to get a little cool, but before that, no.
11th grade for me, and this would have been ninth. So
Okay.
yeah,
Big
that's
boy.
why I was at the rec center with Jason Dreesen, who I left behind because I was way cooler than him by 11th grade.
Yeah, I've done
Uh,
slumber parties and still going to the park and stuff like
yeah.
that.
All right. Well, the next song we talked about the video is "Shake Me." What do you got here?
Shake Me is the only song I think where they say shake it, don't break it, and it doesn't bother me. Um, Super catchy. Of course, the first Cinderella song I ever heard. Instantly liked it. Instantly liked them. Wanted to see it more and more and more. So, of course, I've probably seen that video hundreds of times, like everybody else at that time, because it was on every 5 seconds. But every time I hear, okay, so remember the Shake Weight?
Yeah,
Okay. When that came out,
there's one around here somewhere.
you have one?
Yeah, but not an eye shot.
Of course you do. Of course you have.
Well,
Well,
not me
anytime
personally. It's my wife's. Of
oh,
course it
okay,
is.
okay. That's okay then. Well, anytime I heard it or saw it, whatever, I would always sing "Shake Weight." Oh, not, like I would always have to sing
Missed
this
opportunity.
"Shake Weight."
Shake weight. Yeah, I love this tune. I like the dual guitar solo on it too. I wonder if this is one of the songs that has like the one guy playing and then Tom comes in. Yeah, that's the part of the video where they throw him a guitar and he like suddenly starts playing the solo, and that's the only time he needs the guitar in the video. But then you get that kind of cool little breakdown, that shake me, and then like of course his Cinderella skank is like, yeah, it's all about me, and then at the end of the
Well,
video
that's when the audience and he plays, and then the crowd goes "Shake Me" like
yep.
that. So, and that's very fun.
Next up is Nobody's Fool.
Nobody's fool. Oh my God.
I'm not your fool.
But the beginning could be 18 in life or Nobody's fool. So when you hear that beginning, both songs go through my head and I'm like, which one's going to be? Oh, okay. It's this one. It's
Yeah.
weird. I know they're not like exactly. It's just that like guitar, like supposed to be acoustic, but they're still the electric. I'm saying it wrong. Like that.
No, that kind of cleaner tone, kind of like, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So I'm like, oh, the way, yeah. But this song is like, oh my God, so so awesome. This is like the most killer slow dance song ever.
And that's weird to think about, like having like a slow dance with somebody, and the song is about getting cheated on.
True. Yeah. And
There's a
then you
lot
kind
of
of have
there's a
to
lot of that
bang
kind
your
of
head
yeah.
like, boom. Nobody, like, you can't not do that at that part. So
Oh, that's a good point, Courtney. Yeah, you kind of like you slow dance and then knock each other out, and
you're gonna headbutt your dance partner, unless it's
man,
Dorian Wright. He's a lot taller than me.
fair enough. You just hit him in the, I don't know,
In
mid
the
section or
chest,
whatever.
maybe.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I love this tune. And I remember, like, it's weird to like look back at this stuff because my fondness of it really hasn't changed, but like the impact it has on me emotionally has drastically changed. It's like this was such a serious and meaningful song at the time, and it was almost like one of those moments where it's like this is the most heavy thing I've ever heard in my life, and it's just like. And it really, honestly, I didn't remember how dumb the video was until recently. But at the time, well, until today when I watched it before we talked here, I remember the video. I remember the things that happened. And I was like, well, those girls, I know they weren't in just that one video, but there's no way they're in this one. And I'm like, and they were. I'm like, this whole thing is silly.
Well, for girls our age, we mostly had disappointment when it came to crushes. It was either a person who was in a poster on our wall,
It's
like
not
for
just
me.
girls, Courtney, okay?
I'm just saying for this song, like
Yeah,
it would
okay.
be like, like you liked a boy in school and he didn't like you back. But for girls, we always like would, you'd play like makeup and dress up and we'd talk, and you kind of knew like,
Okay.
anyway, it was a fantasy to be the girl in the video, but not knowing why. We just wanted to be the one that was like, what? And like, oh, I'm running home and like, woe is me. And then what? You want me back? Me? Oh, like you always wanted that. He turns you away, but then he comes back. Like that was what you wanted as a young woman. As an adult, we're like, you're going away? Fine, fuck off, bye, window shut. Like very little patience for the I'm gonna take you back stuff. But rock stars seem to get away with that a lot. They seem to be able to go run around and then come back. But which is what so many of the videos are about. Like, oh, we
Yeah.
broke up and now we're back, but that's like that thing. Like, I don't know, it's something that women just really craved. Like we always wanted that drama and then the running away and the hot makeup and the we all wanted that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting point because, like, on the juxtaposition of that, from the guy's perspective of this time, if I'm that guy in high school, I am absolutely your fool. Like, put me
Yeah.
on a string and just tag me along. Like, friend zone me. I'll be an idiot though the entire time, just craving for that one little nugget of like affection that I'm not getting. But
Mm-hmm.
and you can just keep it going, lead me on all you want. And that was that was true for a lot of guys, except for a couple.
Well, in his solo, I've seen his solo band a few times, and Tom and his wife sing this together, and it's really beautiful.
Yeah, it's actually very good.
It's super powerful, like that. I like it. It's like, okay, how are we going to do this different? And it's really nice to see them
I
sing.
do love the way he sings that line, but now I've changed my mind. I'm not your fool. I mean, it's a well written and crafted song, and it's actually delivered with a lot of emotion, as much as we're kind of like having some fun with it. But
No, it's an incredible song. Yeah,
so
if you don't
I'm
like that
gonna
one, you're dead inside.
just assume, because you said you only listened to the three songs, that for some of these the non-video ones you wanted me to kind of jump in on here.
I listened to them. Like, I mean, I listened to them a few times. I liked this. I liked the next one because I'm like, oh, I feel sorry for the song that has to follow "Nobody's Fool."
I love the
But
next song. Nothing for Nothing is the next one. Carry on.
yeah, I liked it. I liked it. I like Jeff's solo. I'm guessing it's Jeff. And it because I don't love guitar solos. I like guitar solos. And this one was
Hmm.
short. It was short, melodic. It was nice and purty. And I
Nice.
was like, okay, I like this. Because I'm like, oh God, what song's gonna follow this? Like, yeah, I like guitar solos, but I like short ones.
My only thoughts there is like for guitar solos, I like good ones. They can be short,
Mm.
they can be long, as long as they're good and memorable. But it sounds
Not
like your
quite.
attitude. towards not Corey Feldman, performance art. But it seems like you look at guitar solos the way I look at fight scenes in Marvel movies. I want them short. I am the one guy. I was on a Star Wars podcast and I said, "Is anybody else sick of like lightsaber scenes? Like I'm just kind of done with it." And they're like, "I just got destroyed." It was kind of fun.
It's like war scenes in the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yes, I was like, come on.
Forward through the war. I'm like, I've seen enough of people. I can't even stand it. So I just fast forward it and I watch the other part. So basically it's 11 minutes long.
Those old Bruce Lee movies where like they fight for 9 minutes and nobody ever gets hurt. It's like I don't even understand what's going on. So, and I'm 10. I'm 10 years old questioning this with a grown man next to me who can't stop watching it for the fourth time.
There you go.
Anyway, once around the ride, it wraps up side one. Anything on this one, Courtney?
I was just once around for this one and I'm good. Yeah. It was a little boring to me. It was so repetitive. And a lot of their songs are there. A lot of this is like, you can tell it's like the freshman, it's like the first one. So every chorus is like super, super repetitive, but, you definitely know the name of the song.
You only go once. I don't know. To me, there's not a miss so far, but,
no, not a miss for sure. Not a miss.
I noticed, you see my CD here? Mm-hmm. Let me just hold that up for the people watching. Now I'm going to pull up the art that Cinderella logo kind of dies off there on the ELLA as far as the color purple than my CD does. I don't know if that really resonates with the.
Oh, weird.
What is it? Hey, what is this guy? Yeah, this guy too. Yeah.
On the album, it does it too? Oh, yeah, no. Well, you might just have a bad picture.
Yeah, I'm going with that.
I have a bad picture. By the way, do you notice how like everyone looks like comfortable and Fred looks like he meant to lean on the wall but didn't quite make it? Like, I'm gonna lean on the wall. Nah,
I didn't,
never mind.
But now I do. Well, actually, now it almost looks like him and Jeff both did.
Yeah,
I think Mark Weiss is like, why don't you guys? Because they're both kind of doing that. A lighter version of the Captain Morgan thing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh boy. All right.
Jesus, these guys are cool. My goodness.
All right, so I believe the first side of the cassette was a little shorter than the second side. So no, I got it backwards. So you can actually just flip the cassette around, and then it opens up with Hell on Wheels. Do you like Hell on Wheels?
I did like Hell on Wheels. I liked it. I like the beginnings of all these songs. And like, if I don't like the first, I think most people are like that. If you don't like the first like 10, 15 seconds, as opposed to like things with talking or just like one, if you're not into that right out of the gate, but that's the great thing about Cinderella for me, like the beginnings of all their songs, I'm like, I'm in. Like,
yeah,
I'm in. So
for this record, for sure. Yeah. I mean, tell that to people who keep telling me to check out Kick Axe or, I already mentioned Riot, so another cheap shot there. But I love Hell on Wheels. It's a great way to kick off the second side of the record. To me, this has a bit of a Wasp feel to it.
Okay.
But I'm guessing I might be a bigger Wasp fan than Courtney.
Much bigger Wasp fan, even though I'm on their mailing list. Hal Sparks is always like, you gotta go to Wasp. Like, he loves Wasp, and he's like, Wasp Live is the most incredible thing. And he just like goes crazy if you ask him about Wasp concerts. He's just like, I know, you just open your mind. And it's like, I know it's not like a lot of girls are into Wasp, like, because we're not, but like, but I'd still watch it, whatever. But they were scary. Wasp was scary. But that's what, yeah. So Hal, if you want to talk about Wasp, call Hal Sparks. He would love to talk about Wasp.
I'll have to get his contact number from you after the show here. But as much as I was saying, like, Poison is a chick band, Wasp is not.
No, tis not. Like Manowar, Wasp, like not a lot of chicks listening to those. But this one was like, it like turned it up. I was saying, like, if I was using this album as like a workout, this would be the time when I would really start sweating.
Okay.
For Hell on Wheels.
You touch on kind of an interesting thing because, like, for me, music was very important to me, pretty much from the time I was 7 years old. But once I got kind of horny, it was also kind of like a mechanism to try to get girls to be interested in me and also be horny as well. Mm-hmm. I didn't have a very high success rate, unless you think 0 is a big number. But, like, a band like Cinderella could be one of those bands that you could kind of like you could a girl would get it like as much as I wanted to listen to some Wasp, I mean the Cinderella is going to be a better move for me if I'm with someone of the fairer sex. So yeah.
Didn't you think this song also it reminded me a little bit of Motley Crue?
Yeah, sure, yeah. There's a lot of.
I mean, I could hear them. I could hear Vince Neil sing this song.
The problem is I have such a Vince Neil filter that is kind of morphed into like what he is now, and so I just see him running under breath, and it's just like
Only concert I ever got tinnitus, Vince Neil solo band.
Tinnitus, really.
I really did. All of me and my 3 girlfriends I went with, all of us had ringing in our ears and on the way home. And one of them has since passed, and she was very ill at the time, and her body was weak, and but she loves Motley Crue, she loves Vince Neil, so she came out, and the mix was so loud from where we were sitting, she was actually in pain, like her whole body. Basically, Vince Neil killed my friend, is what I'm trying to say.
That's what I was getting at.
But her body was in pain. Like it was that bad. And then a friend of mine works for them, and he's like, "Oh, do you want to come tomorrow night?" And I'm like, yeah, we do. Yeah, we'll come tomorrow. my other girlfriend went the next night, and I had just had earplugs, but they played in a theater, and it was a lot easier but I had to have earplugs the whole time. And I had to get up and leave a couple times because I just said it was just the night before. It was just like, oh my God. But anyway.
Next up, we have Somebody Save Me. That we've talked about the video. What do you think of the track?
I like this one. I like it a lot. I know you're saying you don't think it's a single, but
as we're getting through this, I don't know what the third single would have been. Maybe, yeah, this is probably the third single. Honestly, I can't pick a better song on here than as far as a single.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm just saying, the other 2 songs actually cracked popular radio. This is now it's an MTV single, but MTV was a different animal than Top 40 radio.
Right.
Whereas songs like Shake Me and Nobody's Fool would actually do some damage there. This one I don't think did any. But I keep forgetting at the time MTV mattered a lot too as far as record sales. And so not every single needed to be something that was going to compete with, the latest Debbie Gibson.
Right. Well, it's funny when I talked about the video, I remembered everything about it, every line that they said, how it ended, everything. And for a while, I couldn't remember what the song was. I remember my sister and I would go, "All right, dude, finally." And then I'd be like, "Shit, what's the name of this song?" And I couldn't remember.
I love stuff like that.
Maybe, I don't know. I used to think, okay, so I was going through all the lyrics too, because, when you're young, you just know what they're saying. You're trying to read their mouths on MTV, and you're mostly wrong. So when he says the part "Somebody Save Me," I thought I lost my job and they kicked me out of my tree, which is also weird. But I used to think,
okay, wait a second. What is? Oh, that is the lyric, right? Is what you're saying?
That's the lyric.
Okay.
But I used to sing along to it and say, "I thought I lost my junk. They kicked me out of this trick." I thought it was "I thought I lost my junk." I sang it completely wrong. And then the part where they go close up on Tom and he's mouthing it and he's playing. I remember watching that so closely, and still I'm like, yeah.
He has a weird mouth. That's what I was getting at there.
Yeah, but his lips, the lips.
You like those Steven Tyler lips?
The lips, Tom Kiefer lips. Women pay a lot of money to have those lips.
Man,
And if you want a piece of Tom Kiefer, I'm going to tell you how to get it. Just stand in the front row. We'll get a little Kiefer shower.
Oh, yeah. No,
we'll get a little drippity doo-dah.
That guy, it's sweats like a shower.
He's putting on a damn show. He's working hard. He's putting on a fucking show. I'm sorry. But yeah, he likes to perspire. He's a perspirator. Perspirer. I forgot about that. I just remember that now. Forgot about that.
He's a sweaty ass dude, man. You see him live, boy. Great show, by the way. All right, so the 8th track, or the third song on side 2, as I like to say, because I'm trying to be somewhat time sensitive. In From the Outside. Now, listening to it for the first time today, Courtney, what do you think?
Very bluesy.
Yeah.
And a little mellower, I think, than the rest, probably. And I liked it. I mean, I didn't really go deep on how I feel like,
I love
but
that, like, da, 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 da,
but
da, da, da,
I
da,
liked it.
da.
It was like a little bluesy to me, and I liked it.
This is 80s hair metal blues, but I go with you.
Well, listen to it again. And but I mean, it's like when you go wine tasting. Some people taste apricot. Some people taste,
Pine
flowers.
needles.
Hmm.
Okay. What about the subtly titled Push Push?
Push push. I didn't write any notes on because I was picking up my husband from his birthday gift today.
Hmm.
I'm
I'm still
feeling
trying to figure
bad.
out what the song's
I
about.
don't even remember what it sounds like. But I didn't have any bad feelings about it. I think I actually listened to this one a couple times in the car.
Hmm.
I'm trying to remember now.
There you go. Go ahead.
Oh, love this one. Yeah, this is the one I listened to a couple times in the car.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I tried not to go in order. I sort of like put it on shuffle and let it shuffle the record just so I didn't
you're
so I
really
would
not
pay
you're really
attention.
not steering into the See, this is why we don't have female voices involved in this nerd shit.
I know.
Okay, it's just like you guys are just too unpredictable. You're off having pillow fights and picking up husbands, and you're always on shuffle. But yeah, I like the song. It's weird that like I said, like these songs meant something to me at the time where I still kind of like the vibe and it can take me back. But like to me, a song called Push Push is so fucking stupid now where at the time I was like, fuck yeah. Yeah, I need some push push. That's sex,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And it's just like,
It's like a kiss. It sounds like a kiss song. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's actually more subtle than the average Kiss song, honestly. Well, the record closes out with a song called Back Home Again. Anything here?
Um, I actually thought this was, I really liked this. I actually started looking through live stuff to see if they did it live.
Yeah, really? What'd you find out?
I don't remember because I didn't write it down, but I found that they had like a live at the Roxy, I think, and I saved it because I wanted to listen to it after we were done because I wanted to hear your thoughts, and then I want to listen to the live album, and see
Well,
this any of these songs that we were talking about, and also my favorite one is on there. So Last Mile. I want to listen to that. So where the heck is it? I saved it. Where's the live one? Is it live at the Roxy? I don't remember. I'm terrible at this. I'm
well,
terrible at rating.
I do like this song, but it's probably my least favorite on the record. But it's a great way to
Okay.
close. It's probably the great way to close the album out because kind of got that kind of end of the album feel to it.
Mhm.
So I think it ties in really well. I really don't have a moment on this record that I skipped when I was prepubescent or actually postpubescent. How about just pubescent?
Pubescent.
Yes, I was definitely pubescent during this
Mhm.
time. Me and Jason Dreesen at the rec center listening to Cinderella, being the only two guys in the gym on a Friday night because
Mhm.
no girls liked us.
Mhm.
But we made it through, Courtney. Just talked to him this last weekend. So
Look, I was the only girl in all the girls like in my friend group and like and on the outside in my freshman year who wasn't asked to the formal.
hmm.
It was just me. I was in that real funky awkward phase, like where my bangs were like this, and I had
Okay.
braces, and I was fat, and
I'm
nobody
looking to
asked
get
me.
out of mine at some point, but
Huh?
I'm looking to get out of mine at some point. I'm still stuck in
Yeah.
the funky
No,
phase. So.
it was that was painful. That was not good. I haven't even really thought about that until now. Wow, now I know what's wrong with me. That makes all the sense in the world.
Well, it is fun to that these things, music can always be a time capsule and kind of drag you back, but you kind of look back and you kind of remember kind of like it really is tough to be a fucking teenager, and you don't know how to communicate anything because nobody understands you and all this bullshit, and then like I don't know, I've experienced it as a parent to a certain extent, and it's just like Jesus Christ, this is I don't even know like you're acting exactly like I would expect you to, and I want to help, but you're clearly not going to take anything I say as helpful. But it's just it's weird to kind of look at it that way too. So yeah, I'm sorry to bring up some of these painful memories.
No, I'll be fine. I'm gonna be fine.
Well, that's good. You're doing good. Well, let's get to the thing everybody's been waiting for here. We're going to get to the
Need to
rankings.
leave? Okay.
No, no.
Bye.
Yeah, it's you. It's not you they want to shut up. They want me to get to the rankings, though. So this Cinderella with Night Songs comes in with an average rank of 16.28571. It had a high rank of number 3, a low rank of number 36, and yours truly had it at number 5. Once again, Baco is right in the zone. So it came in at number 4 overall. Any final thoughts on the record?
No, I don't know. It was very nostalgic to just listen to it, and kind of, I mean, I have Nobody's Fool on my long drive rotation, so I've listened to that song millions of times, but it was fun to go through it. I just like the way they sound. I like Cinderella. I like Tom Kiefer's voice a lot, and yeah, I guess I do maybe prefer his, like, his solo record is kind of bluesy and he's a little more like mellowed out, but I never heard anyone really sing like that.
Sure.
Until I heard someone sing like that. And it was like magical the first time you hear that, like the first time you hear those voices like that. Still don't know how they do it. But why
don't I count down the top 10 up to this record?
Okay.
And you kind of give me your thoughts on that, because we at number 10 we have Def Leppard Hysteria, number 9
yes.
Skid Row Slave to the Grime, number 8 Judas Priest Screaming for Vengeance.
Okay, I didn't get into Judas Priest until my 30s, but yes. I like
Oh, well, at least you got in there. Yeah. Iron Maiden, number 7 with Power Slave.
Never heard it. Mm-hmm.
Number 6, a band that I think you're a little more familiar with than Iron Maiden, Lick It Up by Kiss.
Who?
Kiss. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm. And then right before Cinderella at number 5 was Def Leppard Pyromania. So with Cinderella coming in at number 4 against those artists behind them, how do you feel?
I think that's fair. I
do too.
I also feel like Cinderella kind of was doing, like, I don't know. I feel like they were like on the edge of being like a little harder, but didn't quite go all the way. So they maintained that commercial, like, pop status. Like, they still were in the zone. They didn't go so hard that they were Iron Maiden-y. But do you know what I mean?
I do.
Where you kind of cross that line and then you lose all the 13-year-old girls.
Yeah, they did a nice balance. Like they to your point, like a band like Poison or Warrant did nothing for guys like me. But a band like Cinderella did, but they also pulled in the girls a little bit too, almost like Motley Crue in that sense.
Melodies, baby.
Melodies. I love melody, man. Nothing wrong with good melody.
Yeah. No, there's not. But yeah, it didn't scare us away. It didn't wasp us.
It didn't wasp you. Yes. Out. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So you're not a big Raven fan, I assume.
I could not tell you one song.
Okay. Now, what was the song you kept talking about that you actually like of Long Cold Winter is your favorite? Is it The Last Mile? Did I get that right? That's a great tune.
Love that song. That is like, I still turn it up in my car and just sing it. And I love it. It's a great song. I think that's always been my favorite one.
I like this record.
Much heat.
What's that?
That didn't get as much heat.
No, not really, but I like this record better than the Long Cold Winter, but it's a pretty close comparison. The one thing I will say is that, like, I think the effort by a lot of these guys, as much as I'll give these guys more credit, almost like Great White, where they do have a little more blues edge to what they do than a lot of the bands that want to say they're bluesy.
Home. Yeah.
Coming Home is a great tune, but the actual title track of Long Cold Winter is, to me, embarrassingly bad attempt at being serious blues.
Okay. It's okay.
Man. No, you're not fucking goddamn Muddy Waters, okay? Just deal with it. You called your band Cinderella. You don't get to go do this. I'm sorry. It's you know what? It's just like fucking who's that fucking guy? John the chick guy who's now in like Grateful Dead or something like that.
Oh, John Mayer.
John Mayer. I'm sorry, John Mayer. You decided to be John Mayer. You don't get to be Guitar Shredder guy. You don't get to be Grateful Dead guy. You have to sing that fucking cheesy ass bullshit that you used to get laid for 10 years.
No,
Fuck you.
He's very good in Dead and Company. He's
Don't
very,
want to
very
hear
good.
about it, Courtney. I don't want to hear about it. He chose his fucking path. He sold his goddamn soul. If he really cared about all that stuff, he should have never wrote the crap he wrote.
Oh, I like him.
This is why I got you on
I
to
like him.
push
I
back.
like Dead and Company with him. I like him because he sing those Jerry Garcia songs that I love, like Althea, and like Franklin's Tower, like those songs. He nails them. I think it's really good. Think it's
Fuck,
good.
fuck John Mayer.
Listen to Althea. Give it a try.
He needs an ass beating.
Okay. It's pretty good.
All right. Well, so anyway, where are they now? So basically, Jeff LaBar lost us a few years ago. That's what
We
it's
love
all
Jeff
about.
LaBar.
Yeah, Jeff LaBar. I actually met him in Nashville after Rockin' Pod. It was actually right after the comedy show you did. The first time I
He
saw
was
you
at
do
our
stand up.
show.
Yep.
Yeah, he was at our show. That was so nice.
And I talked to him afterwards. It was about a 2-minute conversation, but like seemed like a really nice guy. And now he was on a podcast, a mutual friend of ours, Izzy Presley. It was one of the most gut wrenching, heartfully honest conversations I've ever heard from somebody who's been dealing with addiction. And he took all the blame for Cinderella not being a thing because apparently Tom Kiefer, to his credit, wanted to be Cinderella to be those 4 guys. He didn't want to do it without him, to the point that he actually paid for his treatment and stuff. And he's like, I let everybody down, and all this stuff. And yeah, he lost his life basically due to drug and alcohol addiction.
Yeah, very sad.
His son's out there kicking ass with a new band, kind of like in honor of his father. So check that stuff out. You mentioned Fred Curry was working for the LA Kings. He does a ton of what he calls sonic branding for sports teams, the Detroit Tigers and Red Wings, as well as the Portland Trail Blazers. He's all over the place on that kind of stuff. Plus, he scored work for TV shows. He was a voiceover for 2 characters in
that's right too. Yeah.
the Rob Zombie Monsters bullshit. So that's probably a stain on his resume. But no, I'm just kidding.
But to keep working in this business,
No,
you can't do the same thing forever. You have to keep changing yourself. You have to keep reinventing yourself. And it's cool to see someone, talented, apparently not so much on the first 2 albums, but I'm kidding.
For someone not good enough to play on the records, but yeah.
But who's paid the dues and been in the trenches forever and a day. It's good to see someone having a very successful career continuing on in other forms of music. I think it's great to see that.
And he's done a bunch of production stuff. He was in Arcade with Stephen Pearcy right after Rat. But as of right now, yeah, he's just out there actually probably having a better career than he did during his heyday back then. So good for him. Tom Kiefer, you mentioned his band. I've seen them 3 or 4 times. They are fucking amazing.
Yes.
Honest to God, if you're a guy who wants Cinderella to come back, just go see this because he plays everything you're going to want to hear from Cinderella, but he has a really full band. I think there's 8 or 9 people on stage, so he has backup singers. He's got a keyboard player, another guitar player, and they're just top notch. And he sounds amazing.
Sorry, do you hear my dog howling?
Yeah, it's great. It happens all the time.
He mimics the sirens.
Oh, good for him.
So
what kind of dog?
He's a little white fluffy mix dog.
Okay.
You've seen my dog. He's all over my social
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay.
It's mostly my dog. It's me, concerts, me and my husband, concerts, my dog. That's it. But
that's not a bad life. But Kiefer Live, you've seen him, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's great. Absolutely. And the female backup singers and one's his wife. And yeah, there's a million people on stage. It's kind of like Up with People. But it's it's a good show. And he plays all the same Cinderella songs you want to hear. And then the first solo album I actually bought. I got it at the show, I'm almost sure. And then
listen to it today.
Huh?
And then listen to it today.
No, I listened to it then.
His solo album.
Solo album.
Yeah, I forget what it's called too.
Oh my God, I feel really bad. I'm so bad. I have to write everything down. It's like you have these senior moments, like even though you're not that old, and start
I don't know if it's so much that you just kind of get old and stuff. And honestly to God, for me,
The Way Life Goes. That's
there we
the
go.
album I have, and I like it very much.
And I believe it's on David Letterman's record label.
Really?
Or at least his music management company is involved somehow.
Oh, wow. I guess that was a long time ago. It says 2017. I guess it was.
It's weird how that is too. Like there's so many times where I'm like, yeah, not too long ago, and I'm talking like 20 years ago,
Uh-huh.
where like when you're growing up, you're like not too long ago. It was like 6 months ago at best. But
Oh my God.
yeah, no,
Horrible.
he played here the summer after Prince passed away,
Mm.
and they did an amazing cover of Purple Rain, which I don't know, it resonated with the people from Minnesota, I would hope.
I
But it
would
was
think.
really,
Yeah.
really fun and cool. And then I saw him again the next year. At the time, he was playing earlier in the day, and he played the following year. And I predicted at the same festival that like if they bring him back, he'll be a headliner, and he was. Um,
It's great. I love
Eric
it.
Eric Brenningham, he's lost the palm tree a long time ago. I believe he is still currently the bass player in Bret Michaels' band. Can't
We were
couldn't.
just at in Key West.
So did you see him or not?
I caught the end of it. I
Do you
caught
know
the
if
end
it
of
was
it.
him or not? I just
I
couldn't
don't
get
remember. I
Okay.
honestly don't
He looks
remember.
so much different now, other than being tall and skinny. He's like got black hair and
No,
I don't know.
it was no, it was short and light, I
Yeah.
feel
Oh
like.
well, maybe he bleached it. Yeah, it was short, but look,
I don't remember, but he probably was. I just remember Dee Snider was singing and we had shows.
oh, at the
So
you went to Party Gras?
yeah, I saw Party Gras, but just
Hmm.
the end because
Okay.
we had I was with Don Jameson. We had shows and we ran over to the
Sure.
thing after our shows and we just caught the end of Party Gras. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, fair
It
enough.
was good.
Well, Cinderella comes in at number 4. I'd like to thank everybody for checking in and following along this entire time. Of course, we have.
Everyone's gone. No one hears this part.
That's depressing because I end it with the same thing or with something special every time. So hopefully they're hanging in here. We've had some diehard followers of the show, Courtney, and also
No.
you're a bigger draw than you want to give yourself credit for. I appreciate the self-deprecating humor; it's right up my alley. But here's your last chance to pimp yourself. What do you got going on here? Now, keep in mind that this isn't coming out till next year. How can people find Courtney Cronin?
Oh shit! Wait, like January, February kind of
It's
thing?
gonna be this is the top 5, so we're talking February. Yeah.
Okay, so hey everybody, I'll be probably at the Rockin' Pod, but I will be on the Monsters of Rock cruise in March, and we're doing a punchlines and backlines on that with a very super special guest, which I think we would have announced by now. So just go check because we would have announced it by now. Actually, we just talked about the shows today, and this is what, October, and
You know what we can do, Courtney, is we can like do that like kind of Cinderella, the Somebody Save Me video morph where we just drop in a voice going like Fred Curry is the
good.
yeah.
That's a good idea. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so we're gonna have in the.
There we go.
It's your fault, Fred. Don't push me. Yeah, it is. Yeah, we don't know. It's so, and then we're also doing a special show of. So that is going to be. It's just going to be amazing. And if you're coming on the cruise, I mean, please come find me and say hi. And unless it's before 10 a.m.
Always a pleasure, Courtney, and thank you for coming on and being part of this process, and at least trying to offset the imbalance of the sausage party this whole thing has turned into. So,
Look,
always good to talk to you.
I'm happy to be the and I don't like to play favorites, but you're one of my favorites. You're probably my favorite. You're probably my favorite.
Aw.
So don't tell the other guys that, but you are very, very funny. You make me laugh all the time. I don't know about that other weird guy you do the show with sometimes, but but he's funny too. But I do love you, Baco, and I think you do a great job, and your shows are always great. And I'm very, very honored that I got to be your token female. So thank you very much.
I don't know what to say to that. For everybody listening, you've been keeping up along this way. Here is your moment of Lee.